Hey guys, in today's video I'm going to be building and painting the Librarian Terminator that came with the Combat Patrol subscription. I'm going to paint this guy in the same paint style as I did with the Terminator Captain, in a Dark Angels Deathwing sort of style. So we're going to go ahead and get this guy clipped out. In an attempt to try and keep these kind of videos shorter, I did kind of cut out a lot of the detail, little fine detail stuff, but I do kind of try to go over it when it gets to that part. But we're going to get this guy glued together. He has a pretty simple open stance, so I just went and just threw him all together completely. Instead of like doing like sub-assemblies and stuff like I did with the Terminator Captain. But yeah, so I just go ahead and get this guy glued up. It's a pretty straightforward build, nothing too much to it. In fact, I don't even know if I have the instructions out in front of me while doing this. I might off to the side, but it's just pretty simple. Because he has this like kind of rune covered armor, I didn't replace any parts with like a Dark Angels-esque piece, like the shoulder pads or anything. Cause I don't have there's an upgrade sprue I think that you could get that has like a Dark Angels shoulder pad, but I don't think it has like a Librarian version. Though it would be nice to have gotten a Dark Angels like Terminator head, because I'm pretty bad at painting skin tones. I don't really get it quite to where I want it on this guy, but at some point I need to just do a practice and get that going. But here he is, all nice and assembled, and I'll go ahead and get this guy primed, because the Deathwing uses like kind of bone kind of colored. I went ahead and primed him white. And while I can't use any upgrade parts, I do have an able to put a Deathwing decal on that shoulder where it's just a big open circle. But here he is in just nice white. And the first thing I want to do is kind of do well, here I'm just showing the Terminator Captain, so you see what I'm going for. I am going to do the same like red kind of power weapon. I don't get it to come out as good as I did on the sword, but I'm trying to make sure I use similar colors, and so you know they're clearly part of the same army. But yeah, the first thing I'm going to do is Wraithbone. I didn't actually have any Wraithbone when I did the first guy, but what I'm going to do is do a light base coat of that, and then do a heavy dry brush of the white, and then do 2 coats of Seraphim Sepia shade color. And it's going to come out looking a little darker on camera, but in person it's a lot closer. So like I said, the first thing is to get a nice little coat of the Wraithbone, which again on camera for some reason it looks so much darker, which it is definitely a lot darker than the white, but I'm kind of just going for a quick little. I think I did do 2 coats, just to make sure in like the recesses and stuff. As far as the actual like where the runes are, I do kind of try painting those a different color to not quite do a glow effect, but here we are. Get nice 2 coats on there. I don't worry about cleaning up the other parts, other stuff until I get to that. I wanted to get the main body armor done first. But here he is with the 2 coats, and now I'm going to go ahead and do, like I said, a nice heavy dry brush of the white to kind of cover most of it. It's just to leave kind of darker areas, more brown areas in the recesses and stuff. Just something to kind of mix it up visually. And I think I did 2 passes of this as well. But this is just kind of showing you, like it's just lightening up all the edges and lighting it up. It does look a little better when I get it done. But I'll go ahead and just do a quick pass on all that. And here we go. You see it's a lot lighter now, a lot closer to a white. But still almost like a bone color on itself. This kind of would maybe be a good, like if you want to do like a statue or something, maybe kind of color. But I'm going to go ahead and go over it with the Cerebrum Sepia. Like I said, I did two coats of this because the first coat wasn't quite dark enough. It does come out looking, like I said, a little dark, but then after doing the runes, I go back and touch up a lot of it with mostly a white kind of color and kind of go back over with the Cerebrum Sepia. You can kind of see it in some spots. It's kind of splotchy, but kind of at first glance you can't really tell on the final thing. But yeah, here he is after 2 coats. And it is a little more almost yellow, a little darker than the other guy. I kind of get them a little side by side, but it is pretty close. It's not that far off. It's only my second time doing this kind of armor effect. I think the next delivery of Combat Patrol, I'm supposed to get the actual squad of Terminators. So here we are. I'm going to actually touch up everything white to kind of clean up all the other parts. This kind of area where I start doing the different colors, I kind of go through kind of quick. So what I'm going to do is kind of just clean up everything, get all stuff that's white. I'm going to do the purity seals are going to be white with none oil over them with Blood Angels contrast for the actual seal itself. I'm going to do the undersuit in black, which I didn't really do it in the undersuit on the other Terminator, the Terminator Captain, because you can't really see a whole lot of it, to be honest, just the way he's posed, except for like 1 or 2 spots behind the knees. But he's got the cape on, so you can't see like any of it. The only spot you would see is like kind of in the inner elbow. But here we go. I went ahead and did that. Yeah, see, kind of did the inner suit. I saved touching up the armor for kind of like one of the last things that I do. I'm also going to go over all the stuff that's going to be metallic in just a thin coat of black, just to get it darker, because metallics kind of take a lot of coats if you go straight over them on a white. But first thing before I do all that is I'm going to use that Blood Angels contrast, and I'm going to try and use it kind of like a panel line on my Gundam model to do these runes. The first couple I show come out pretty clean, but some of them they just weren't modeled deep enough, and I was kind of not necessarily rushing through, but not taking as much time as I should have, as I did with these first couple, to make sure they were really clean. That was kind of just partially impatience on my part, but I did end up having to go clean up a lot of areas and redo a couple of them. Maybe if I had like a, I was probably looking to maybe get like a little scribing tool or something, just so that way for future things like this, if I want to try this again, I could maybe scribe the lines a little deeper, and then it'll be easier. But I'm using my thinnest brush that I have, and so you can kind of see this is like what the effect's going to look like. Those are probably the cleanest lines I did in the whole thing. But yeah, here it is with the whole leg done. You can see there's a couple spots that are a little messy, but I'm going to go back and kind of clean it up some. Overall, it ends up coming out pretty cool. Usually, the librarians have blue armor with the blue glow. But since I wanted this guy to, even though he is a librarian, to be the Deathwing to match the other guys, I went ahead and just did it this way. You can see, yeah, see, like a lot of them came out kind of messy, but especially that back leg. That back leg was so hard to get those lines. I ended up, I think, covering up, almost redoing that whole shin. But I'm gonna go ahead and start doing the, get that cleaned up and start doing the details of the other things. The hoses, I ended up just leaving them white and then doing a yellow over them. But I did Iron Jaws contrast yellow. The default color paint scheme has one set of the hoses yellow and then the other set a different color. I just, to keep it simple and to save some time, I just did them all yellow, including the arm hoses and the hose that's on the power axe, because the power weapons I do for them are red and orange. And this is me going to do that little thin coat of black before doing the metallics. I also did the book on his back hip black, because that's going to be brown, and then I'm going to make it look like the pages have a metallic coating on them, kind of like you see like some books have. And this is me busting out that yellow. I also did black over all the skulls and stuff that are going to be metallic. Some of them I did gold, some of them I did silver. The shoulder, I did silver. I left that medallion hanging from that thing silver. The chest, hips, and wrist are gold. The icon on the top of his head's gold. Chest's gold. Knee I did silver. Just to kind of have like a few variations. As far as other details, the bolt gun, just did it to match the storm bolter that the other guy has, bright silver, and then Blood Angel's red. As you can see, dead brown on the book, as well as the necklace there. The power axe, yeah, it didn't come out as good as the power sword. And in fact, I do a wash over it at some point with the Blood Angels to kind of blend it all together. I did the Blood Angels with the handles, silver for the metallic parts, yellow for the hose. Yeah, so now I'm just going on to get this guy, get a little decal on this guy. It's a Deathwing. I did line it up way better than the one that's on the captain. And then also go ahead and do the base. I went ahead and just did like I already had the brown on my palette, so I went ahead and just did a layer of brown before doing the actual mud to kind of match the other guys. But here's just another look. The Sterling Battlemire. Some point I'm going to buy another one of these for the rest of these guys. And I did put a couple little bushes and shrubs on this for this guy. And I painted that rock. I covered most of that skull up with the Battlemire. But you can still see a little bit. And I left that just a plain white color. So it kind of works. The rock on his foot is just gray with none oil over it. That usually works pretty good for like rocks I found. But yeah, I'm gonna get this guy finished up, put him with the rest of the guys on the shelf so you can see them all together. And if you enjoyed the video, be sure to like and subscribe. I do have the Termagants that are right there behind him coming up soon. That'll probably be next week. Before that, I bought a bunch of SD Gundam kits, and I'm gonna start doing those like a midweek kind of video, just so I can try and get. I want to try and start doing 2 videos a week when I can. So I have a bunch of those all lined up, ready to go. And yeah, thanks for watching.